Hello, I'm Deb Ashby and I'm a TAPS certified MOS accredited IT trainer. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to perform powerful lookups using the functions VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. For example, let's say you want to complete the record label column in the first table. The second table contains the information you need. Using the information that is common between the two tables, so in this case the album, a VLOOKUP can be used to populate the empty column. HLOOKUP works in the same way, but is used when your column headings run horizontally across the spreadsheet. The best way to master lookups is practice. So let's take a look at an example now. We're now going to take a look at a couple of formulas that you'll find invaluable when it comes to data analysis, and they're part of the lookup function group, and we're going to look at VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So let's take a look at our data. So we have some information for a furniture store, and we have some product information, and we have two different tables here. Now, what a lookup will allow you to do is take the piece of information that's common between the two tables and return something else. So in this case, the product information is what we're going to use. The first thing I'm going to do is highlight my entire table, the second table that is, and we're going to call it product_info and hit return. Now, this is going to make our lives a lot easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a VLOOKUP, which is going to look for the product in the other table and return the department. So let's type VLOOKUP. The first argument is the lookup value. So what do we want to look up in that second table? Well, we want to look up A6, the product. We're going to type in comma, which then moves us on to our next argument, which is table array. So that's basically asking, okay, where do you want me to look for this product? So we named our table array. We give it a range name. So you could press F3 to bring up your range names. I can't do that when I'm on a webinar or recording. So I'm going to have to type in my range. So my range was called product info. And as I select it, you'll see it highlights that range of cells. My next argument is the column index number. So what am I looking up? Now, VLOOKUP's number from left to right. So product is 1, department is 2, category is 3. So I'm looking for department. So I'm going to type in 2, comma, and I want it to exactly match the product. So I'm going to put a false argument in there. Okay, so VLOOKUP, A6, in our product info table, return the department and make sure you do an exact match on that product name. And when I hit enter, it comes back with furniture and I can use the autofill handle to copy that information down. Let's do it again, but this time pull back category. So it's going to be basically the same with one small change. So we're going to type in our equals, and this time we're going to do it a slightly different way. Let's do it using our function library. So I'm going to search for VLOOKUP, and some people find this easier than just typing directly into the cell because it does guide you very slightly, but it's exactly the same as the previous way that we did it. So our lookup value, again, is exactly the same, A6. Our table array is our cell range, so again, you could press F3. I'm going to have to type in the full name. The column index number, so this time we're looking up categories. So remember, it numbers from left to right. So this time the column number is number 3. And again, our range lookup, exact match or approximate, we want to type in false. Alternatively, instead of false, we could use a 0. It means the same thing. And click on OK to pull back that category information. Copy down. And there we go. Very, very simple to do. So that's a VLOOKUP using the exact match or that false argument on the end. Let's look at it with the true argument on the end. So again, we have some other data, some order numbers, we have some subtotals, and we want to look up the reduction rate, the percentage in this little table. Okay, I'm not going to name my table this time. Let's do it a slightly different way. Type in VLOOKUP. Our lookup value is the subtotal, so D3. Our table array, this time I'm just going to highlight the range of cells. And what you need to remember is that if you are going to copy this formula down, you're going to need to make this cell range absolute. So adding in those dollar signs. So again, you can press your F4 key to add the dollar signs in. I need to do mine manually because my F keys become disabled when I'm recording. So I'll type those in manually. Then we're going to do a comma. And our column index number, I want the percentage, so remember it numbers from left to right, so that is column 2. But this time I'm going to do the true argument, the approximate match, because if you look, 1,363 isn't exactly what we have in that reduction rate table. Okay, what it will do is it's pulled back 3%, and if we look at that table, we can see that what it does is it matches to the lowest one that it's near to. So 1,363 has matched in the reduction rate table to 1,000 and pull back that 3%. What we can then do is just a very quick sum calculation, just to get that adjusted total in there. So D3 times E3, and then we want to plus E3 again. And that gives us our adjusted total, which we can then copy down. So that is the difference between the true and the false argument. One's doing an approximate match, a rough match, and the other one is doing an exact match. Now an HLOOKUP is very similar, except you would use this if your data is running horizontally across the page. So this time we have our column headings are in column A, okay? So they're running horizontally. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to highlight my table of data that I'm going to refer to and give it a name because I find that easier. So I'm going to call it HLOOKUP underscore product. And I'm going to pull back the department, but this time we're going to type in HLOOKUP. So equals HLOOKUP, open my bracket. My lookup value is still the same. It's the same data, just runs the other way on the page. So B2. My table array is that table below that we just named. So again, you could press F3, but I'm going to type in the name and select it from the list. Comma. This time we have row index number as opposed to column index number. So again, we're looking for department. So the row is 2 and we're going to do an exact match. So I'm going to use 0 for false. And again, I can just use my autofill handle to copy that across. Let's do it again because practice does make perfect. So I'm going to just drag this formula down. Now you'll see I need to make a couple of amendments here. So the first thing I need to do is change the row number to 3 because I'm looking for the category this time. So if I hit enter on that, I'm still getting an error. Why is that? Let's double click and go back in. And I can see because I've dragged it down, it's moved down to B3. So I actually want to keep it on B2. It's looking up the bamboo armchair. So a couple of modifications there, and I can then safely drag that across. So you don't need to construct it.